Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Jennifer Salerno, a nurse practitioner, mom, and founder of Possibilities for Change. As a clinician, I saw firsthand how often we identified risk but failed to connect that to meaningful help. Over the past decade, I've brought together an incredible network of educators, clinicians, software engineers, parents, and youth to change that. Together, we've created a system that turns screening into action, helping youth live safer, healthier, and more successful lives. We'll begin with a message from one of our athlete partners, underscoring the critical gap that inspired the creation of Rising Together.
Every day, there's a silent crisis unfolding in our schools. A smile hiding sadness. A student battling invisible storms. And far too many feeling like they're alone. 1 in 3 youth feel hopeless. 1 in 6 have made a suicide plan. 1 in 4 don't have a trusted adult to turn to. Just let that sink in. Now ask yourself, what if we could change that? This is Rising Together, a bold movement to rewrite the story for our youth. To give every student a voice, a safe space, and a lifeline before it's too late. As a father, I know what that means. With our school-wide mental health screening, we're not waiting for our kids to cry for help. I wish I would have got to my son. I wish I could have heard his silent cries. But now I need all of us to reach out first. Identifying the needs, like having real conversations, connecting them to real support to where they can get help. Because we believe mental health support should be just as common as math class.
Ray's words are powerful. They remind us that change is possible, but only if we act differently. Across schools nationwide, we've seen what happens when screenings identify risk, but stop there. That's why Rising Together was built differently, to fill those gaps and support both students and the adults who care for them. Rising Together is a comprehensive, evidence-based program designed for youth ages 8 through 18. It empowers students to be open and honest, identifies those at highest risk, and equips both families and schools to respond right away. It's built on over a decade of measurable results, and the data show real improvements in youth well-being. One of our prevention specialists put it perfectly: be prepared for immediate results, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Rising Together combines evidence-based tools with cutting-edge technology and real human connection. Our platform supports students throughout the screening process, making it feel safe, honest, and empowering. We're not just identifying risk, we're responding to it and measuring the difference it makes. Rising Together is not just about technology or screening. It's about giving young people a moment to be seen, heard, and supported.
One of my clients who I was already seeing for therapy, she flagged as high on the survey. And then she's like, if this would have gone out when I was in middle school, I would have gotten help a lot sooner. I'm glad that the school's doing this survey for everybody.
That one statement defines our mission. Rising Together ensures no student has to wait for help. Hearing that, you might be wondering what it looks like in action. Let's walk through the student's journey. A student receives a link to complete the screening during a designated class, typically using their assigned computer or tablet. The questions are private, engaging, and built to encourage honesty. If a student's response indicates concern, our Atom technology flags that student in real time. That triggers a supportive process. Students meet with designated school support staff and are provided immediate interventions. Families are contacted when appropriate, and if needed, personalized community resources and referrals are facilitated. These referral agencies are identified and partnerships are established prior to any screening occurring to help ensure those connections are seamless. When we talk about outcomes, it's easy to focus on numbers and metrics, And yes, we have those, but the real proof is in the voice of the students. One story that stays with me came from a school partner who said, "We identified a student who had been dealing with suicidal thoughts, anxiety, and depression for years. He didn't know how to ask for help. But when approached after the screening, he finally opened up. He told us he probably wouldn't be in therapy today if it weren't for this screening." That's the power of rising together. It's not just about identifying risk, it's about opening a door. Every time I hear stories like this, I'm reminded that what we're building is more than a screening system. It's a pathway to hope, connection, and care for students who might otherwise have continued to struggle in silence. And that hope doesn't stop with students. It extends to their families and the trusted adults who surround them. A big part of our work includes empowering parents, caregivers, and mentors through our TeenSpeak program. TeenSpeak gives adults practical communication tools rooted in motivational interviewing, skills that help parents talk through tough situations without judgment. Parents often tell us how transformative it feels. One said, "I suspected my teen was struggling, but this helped me finally know how to address it." And the data show the impact. Nearly 80% of parents reported feeling confident having difficult conversations, and over half felt more connected to their teen. That connection is what builds resilience.
I had a sixth grader who is in therapy outside twice a month, and it turned out that she had been making preparatory steps. She was writing letters. She was definitely looking at and moving forward with wanting to attempt. If we didn't have this screener, and this is where I get a little emotional, but if we didn't have this screener, I don't know what would have happened because she wasn't being truthful. And in that situation, she clearly was open and wanted help and was open to what she was feeling and experiencing. And so I think in those situations, that's why we do the screener right there, because in my heart, we saved her.
Stories like that are why we do this. Every single screening has the potential to be that turning point for a young person. The Rising Together National Partnership Model brings that vision to life. It unites multidisciplinary experts, cutting-edge technology, and passionate advocates from schools and clinicians to healthcare agencies, nonprofits, and athlete foundations, all working towards one shared mission: to rewrite the story for our youth. It's that kind of passion and collaboration that's fueling our success. Rising Together is more than a program. It's a call to action. Every school, every district, and every community has a role to play in helping youth live safer, healthier, and more successful lives. If what you've seen today resonates with you, we invite you to join us. Whether you represent a school district, a foundation, a healthcare organization, or simply care deeply about young people, there's a place for you in this movement. Click on the QR code to stay connected with us. Together, we can help every student feel seen, supported, and connected, because when we rise together, we change lives.